Everybody asking me why we are in the middle of nowhere. And we are going to ask Thomas what we are doing here. Thomas?
What the? What do you want from me?
What are we doing here?
Myself, I'm trying to decide whether I'm lazy enough to do the roller or not. I will be lazy, but I will bring it home anyways. Squirt. It's not sponsored by Squirt, but anytime it could be. And the last one thing is that whether I should take the stove to the house or not. This time I won't do it. But what we are doing here is that we are going to race on Sunday. It's Friday currently. Not ready. Usually we try to arrive to the place a bit earlier, just because otherwise it's a rush. So imagine that you go 300 kilometers in one side, do the race, sit in the saddle for 2 or 3 hours, and then return back for the same 3 or 4 hours in the car. So it's not optimal, and that way it becomes like a tedious thing, like a job for which you are not being paid. So for that reason, then it's possible we usually try to find some rental place. And one important thing is that if you do it too late, so let's say the race is on the weekend and you start looking for the place in the middle of nowhere, chances are high that you won't find anything. So in this time, it's like 20 plus kilometers from the race start, but it's still better than going straight from home for 400, 300 kilometers. So here we are in Poland, near Białystok, something like that, I guess. Białystok. Anyways, on Sunday in Michalovo there will be Marathon Kresowy. I'm not too good in the namings, I guess. It's going to be my first time racing in this marathon series. Why chosen this? Well, there are a bit more to cover, but before we dive into that, we can just have a look at our rental here. So it's a small cottage, probably, it could be said like this, and we will go inside after a while, but just have a look how amazing this table is. Oh my God. I don't remember when was the last time I sit somewhere where my feet was not touching the ground. So anyways, it's not too bad. Is it? Yeah, so it's nice to have terrace, especially while it's still kind of hot, I would say. It's time to enjoy the last days of the summer. We have all this mess. And it's always tedious to pack everything, unpack everything, and then place the bike somewhere. It's such a minor thing, but it requires some patience, and probably that's the reason why not everyone arrives to the place before the race, because it requires some. Usually our preference is that we choose the place which has a kitchen. Actually, this time we were not so lucky with the kitchen, because it's like a gas balloon and you have to... We'll survive it. Hopefully we will do it. And actually, one of the benefits what we usually try to make the use of is to have rental with the kitchen. Then we're going to racing, it's preferable, but not only limited to that. So basically then we have a kitchen in our apartment, house, flat, whatever we are able to rent on that event. We can prepare the breakfast the way we want to. So usually it's some sort of oat meal before the race, or pasta. Not always happens, it rarely happens, almost never happens. So anyways, the kitchen is preferable. Then probably it would be great to have toilets in the house. Not a major issue if it's not included. And other than that, it's just something to have the roof on top, and we are not too picky about that. So this is our beginning of 2 weeks trip to our part of Europe, which is currently Poland, and then there will be our secret destination, which I won't unleash by now, but we are not going to Ape this year, unfortunately. But usually our idea is to explore something new and something unexplored yet, so that kind of gives you an indication where we might be going to. If you have any questions, maybe you would like to hear the tips. What's the best place to rent? Yeah, looking at Airbnb, surprise, surprise. But of course there are some things to think about, and there are pros and cons by choosing that. Feel free to drop a comment if you want to know something else from that equation. Maybe how much Audi S5 takes the gas. We will have to hide the numbers. Yeah, so Audi is not the best car for longer trips for sure, but whenever it's up to 1K, it's hard. 300-400 is okay. Anyways, with the bikes on top, fuel consumption is also different, so maybe you want to hear something about that. So enough me suggesting you the topics, you can just make something from your own. So let me know in the comments, and maybe you will be successful, and those might be covered, simply because here there is almost no Wi-Fi. Surprise, surprise. So we don't have time to upload anything, and basically we will have just enjoy the nature. Unfortunately, the road is like 30 meters away and the car is driving like crazy. And the fact is, yeah, surprise, surprise, that was the time when no car passed through. After those 4.5 hours of driving, we are here and we are going to